How's it going? Here we are in my basement, chilling amongst the fishing equipment that is pretty much everywhere at this point. Now, at this time last year, we were getting ready for the big event, something that had taken months of planning and then months of preparation on our part to get ready for it. You know, the good people that put together the Fish'n Canada Carp Cup last year did a great job. You know, we had an awesome event. We had a lot of great people and a lot of great anglers to hang out with and fish with. And, you know, I think we were all very lucky that Goldie put so much hard work into actually filming that for the Angler Files. So we had this wonderful film that if you look back in our video history, you will see the Fish'n Canada Carp Cup from 2017. It's pretty much our entire experience as Demir and I competed amongst all the other great anglers that were there. And, you know, last year, Andrew and Jared were able to take the top spot, followed by Simon and Jason in second, and Demir and I were lucky enough to take third. So, you know, very fond memories of that event. It was a lot of amazing people and a really great time, and experiences that just blew me away. I will never forget that event. Now, we're in 2018, and it is time for the next edition. This year's edition is going to be the Fish'n Canada Carp Cup. Yeah, Fish'n Canada has stepped in. You know them from their TV fame, their radio show. You know, they're pretty much household names if you're an angler in Canada. They have taken over this tournament. So, the Fish'n Canada Carp Cup, it's happening in just a few weeks from now. We've been doing a lot to prepare and get everything ready, and you know, it's just a jumble because we've got, you know, this is just my place, and I've got rods over here, I've got tackle all down there, bags of tackle over there, I've got a table just set right up with little bits of rigs that I've been using over the last season that I want to try and scavenge some parts off of to be able to put together new rigs. It's just been crazy the last few months as we've been preparing for this. And you would think, after our preparation last year, I wouldn't have to do as much. If anything, I think we're doing twice as much. That may be for a particular reason. Last year we were able to film the event. This year, Fish'n Canada's taking over. They're going to film it. You know, they're going to do everything they can to help bring publicity to the carp fishing scene in Canada, as well as offer us that chance to have a spot in the World Carp Classic. You know, something that Canada really should have. And yeah, Andrew and Jared are going to make it there for the 2018 tournament, having won their spot last year. So now who's it going to be for this year? Something to look forward to. But just to up the odds a little bit here, you know, Demir and I fished really hard. We worked our butts off. And after all the tournament was done and the filming was done, Goldie looked at us and just said to us both, I really don't want to film this again. I want to fish it. And you know, it makes sense. The guy's worked really hard. He's done a lot to really improve his ability to put together rigs and think on the fly and adapt to situations, which he was, you know, really putting to the test, and was finally rewarded just this past November with a new PB of 36.15, a massive fish that was a great reward for a hard season of, you know, good quality carp fishing. So, with Demir and I working our butts off to prepare, Goldie working his butt off to prepare, it only seems fitting that we need to get more gear, and that's what we're here to do. We're doing a little bit of an unboxing for our Monster Carp Tackle batch of goodies that have come in. So I think finally, for an unboxing, I'm going to have Goldie join me for this one because it's got both of our stuff in it. So what do you think, Goldie? Are you going to join me? Enter stage right. Take a bow. Greet your audience.
Sit closer to you.
What? No, weirdo.
Well, yeah, because we out of shot then. I want to be front and center.
Yeah, stop thinking about the camera angle.
It's my show.
Is it your lighting? This is awful lighting. Wow, the makeup department needs to be fired.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
before you continue, I'm going to put a link down in the description below for the Fish'n Canada Carp Cup that we shot last year, so you can watch it after you've finished watching us go through our stuff.
And you rambling.
And me rambling. No, I just...
So you don't want to make them go back through the library and actually scroll through videos where they might see other ones that they want to watch. You're just going to make it easy and put a link there?
Well, yeah, because then they'll see the awesome and they'll be like, oh, I need to watch all of them.
Hopefully you have watched all of them. If you haven't,
well, see.
Get to it. Am I being too forceful there?
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little. Please watch the videos. Okay, so anywho, we were really lucky to put it in order for our Monster Carp Tackle equipment that we wanted to kind of get ready, not so much for the spring, but particularly for this tournament. You know, it's this new Carp Cup. We really want to step up our game. We know there's a lot of the same anglers from last year that are participating, and a few new ones, some which I haven't even met, and you know, I don't really know kind of their skill level, so I don't know what we're up against. So it makes it more interesting. But you know, I really want to make sure that Demir and I fish our hardest and finish in some of those top spots again, as I'm sure you do.
And me and my partner. You haven't even said my partner's name
I know.
yet.
Well, that's your job. He's your partner.
Well, you just make it sound like it's just you and Demir, and then
you.
Then this team over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fishing with Kevin. You've probably seen him in a couple videos. If you haven't, then we'll link a couple that he's in there with.
Yeah, he's been in a few.
He's been in a few. April.
Yeah.
12 months of carp in April. He was in that one.
He's been in a number of them. It was actually Kevin that brought the whole concept of like method feeder and ground bait fishing into kind of my carp skill set. So without him, I would never have figured that out in the time that I did, which really helped me kind of move forward in my fishing with the Wild Carp Club back in the day. So yeah, Kevin's bringing a lot of knowledge to the table. You've definitely put a lot of work into preparing your knowledge for it.
Well, yeah, 12 months of carp helped with that a lot.
Yeah.
Adapting and changing weather conditions. And
yeah, that was something we are never going to do again. Ever. Don't even try to convince me.
No, I'm not even going to do that. Not after the winter we just had.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we put in an order and very quickly got a large package to arrive at the house with a ton of goodies. So some of it's for me and Demir, some of it's for you and Kevin. And we really are both taking a very different approach. We're not going to give away too much because we don't want anybody else to know what we're up to.
Well, I'm pretty sure when you start pulling things out, people will figure out what our strategies are.
My strategy? Carp fishing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting. You've never been in an unboxing one with me, so.
You stop tapping on the table.
Enough. All right, I think I'm going to replenish my tea first, and then we'll hop right to it. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, so it's time we look through the stuff that we've ordered, and yeah, some pretty cool stuff in here. A couple of things we haven't even tried yet, so I'm quite excited about that.
So you're going to notice there's a difference in what we have here. I have a lot of starter stuff because I don't have a lot of inventory for carp fishing, so there's going to be a lot of stuff that John already has where I don't yet, and I'm tired of using all this stuff and breaking it because he's getting mad at me.
Yeah, I need another baiting spoon.
Yeah.
Alright, so what do we got here first? The ESP Megapult. Now I have one of these, but we have no idea where it is right now. Why don't we know where it is right now, Goldie?
Because you probably buried it somewhere.
I think you had it last.
It's probably in one of these boxes somewhere.
But as far as I know, this is one of three that they have. 3 of them in the range.
Correct.
This one, it's kind of, I think it's more intended for particles, but they have a particle one, they have a boilie one, which I do have.
Yes.
But this particular one, the orange handle with this big pouch, this is the one I like the most, and it does great with everything. Doesn't matter if I'm throwing boilies, small particles, large particles, even ground bait balls. This thing fires them off really, really well. You've used this one, you've used mine quite a lot, and
you've actually broken yours a few times.
Yeah, strands are a little bit shorter, but this has become a really important tool for your fishing, hasn't it?
Yes.
And that one's yours.
Last year, Team Unwanted event in Peterborough, I couldn't get far enough away from the ducks, and they kept taking all my bait because I didn't have any equipment to throw this stuff out. So now with this, I can hopefully get out of duck range.
A little bit.
A little bit. Hopefully.
You know, you could use a baiting spoon on a pole.
I could if I didn't break it.
Yeah.
On a piece of wood in a landing.
Let's just push this out a little bit. Crack! Yeah. All right, what else we got here? The ESP Buoyant Sweet Corn. Now this was in the last Monster Carp Tackle unboxing video.
Yep.
Where you had to be rationed how much of this you would get. And as you can see, we've ordered 3 more packs.
We still have like 5 left.
Yeah, yeah. So we both got some of these. How many did you get?
I got one of those.
You got one of those?
I got one of those.
2 of these are mine. You got your own?
I got my own.
That's it. I'll let you have the other 5.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
But, you know, like, you can't go wrong with these. You can use them by themselves. Use them. I like to use them as toppers with boilies. So if I'm using a bottom bait, for some reason I don't like using just a boilie by itself. I almost always put one of these on there for some reason. I don't know if it's just for the visual attractor of the bright yellow, or is it because I feed with maize a lot. Like, we pretty much use a lot of sweet corn and maize.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe that's just a confidence thing for me, but factors into my fishing really, really heavily.
And I use mine for my corn witch.
Yeah, for your mix of the Monster Carp corn.
Yep. My vanilla.
Yep. All right, what do we got here? Now this must be yours.
Yeah.
The ESP braid scissors with improved shearing action.
Yeah, I tried to cut a piece of metal with mine, and well, it kind of made the scissors not work properly anymore.
Cut a piece of metal with your scissors?
I didn't do it on purpose. It got in my way when I was cutting, and kind of messed them up.
You got in my way. Snip. The ESP clear hair stops. Now you're seeing a bit of a theme here. If you go over to monstercarptackle.com, you will notice that it's not just Monster Carp Tackle that's on there. They do have a pretty wide range of ESP products to kind of supplement different aspects of the tackle and what you would need. So you can get a lot of the ESP equipment, as well as a few other items, and then the Monster Carp gear as that tackle range starts to build. So they kind of go together really well because I love using ESP products. I use them a lot, as you can tell. And these hair stops, well, you kind of need them. So
yeah, we kind of go through these a lot.
Yeah, was it 1 each?
1 each. Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Excuse me. All right, what do we got here? The Monster Carp Tackle chain drop-off indicator. Must be yours.
Yeah, because you're tired of me using yours all the time, and
well, yeah, because you keep misplacing them.
I never misplace anything. So when you see this next, it will not look like this. I am going to be modifying
you're
it.
Customizing?
I am customizing. I will take a picture of it and post it on my Instagram. Instagram? Yeah, Instagram. Once it's done.
But it's not going to be done by the time this video goes live.
Probably not, unless I forget editing this.
But are you going to use that for the tournament?
Of course.
Is that the idea?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I think this one's another one of yours. What's that?
This is for some reason I forgot to take this off the list because we have 3 of them already, but they're the Monster Carp Tackle Flexible Back Rod Rest. We have 3 of them on the pack pot. Oh no, one's on your Signet.
One's on the Signet.
But 2 other ones are in the pack pot. And I was supposed to take this off the list, and I forgot. So now we have 4 of them.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. Now I can have one that I can break myself. And
I have 3 different rod rests, like butt rests, on my Signet pod that I use. We only use those ones on the pack pod.
Yes.
Because they just lock the rod in. They hold it really well. Unfortunately, we didn't get the strikes on camera, but last year during the Canada Carp Cup, if you look careful enough, you will see that there's a tent peg that holds my pod down for the first 24 hours of the tournament. The fish were hitting so hard they were actually lifting the pack pod up backwards, and the rod never moved. Those butt rests held the rod in perfectly, but the pod almost went swimming, so I had to peg it down. But for the most part, that's the only one we use for the pack pod. I have a different range of multiple butt rests, Signet, Nash, and the Monster Carp one for the Signet pod, depending on the conditions. You know, if I'm just sitting at level, that one does the job. If I'm doing a bit of a sky pod, I like the Nash one. And if I'm doing tips down, for some reason I like the Signet one. So I get to swap it out depending on the situation, but that particular rod rest really...
Yeah, they don't go anywhere.
It's pretty much the only one you need. I like changing my gear up a little bit, making it a little bit fancier.
Fancy. Look at you, money bags.
Yeah. That one, hey, that one's yours too.
There should be 2 of these.
Is there?
There should be.
No, there's one of those. We got 2 of the other one. I think there's just one of those. Because we have 2 of this one. So they're all... These are all...
Oh yeah, you're right. There's one.
Of course I'm right. So yours is like an inline cage feeder, right?
Correct. I'm going to be trying the inline approach.
So I'm assuming you're going to use a little bit of pack bait or some method feeder mix or something? Okay. Now, that particular one, you have seen myself and Greg use that to great effect. I guess it'd be 2 or 3 years ago now. Really, our most popular video on our channel is our river carp fishing video. And that one was an incredible session one day that Greg and I absolutely smashed it up on the Welland River. And that was the tactic, those inline method feeders with pack bait. And we just crushed it that day.
I guess I'm going to have to go down to the Park Lake and figure out how to use that properly.
The Park Lake, eh?
Yeah.
With method feeder?
Or I might steal one of those.
No, you're not touching these. Are both these mine or one of these are mine?
Both of these are yours.
Cool. Now
this,
this,
got 2 for.
actually this is something I'm really excited about. I bought 2 because I was afraid that if I lost one I would get depressed and wouldn't have another one. I saw this in the catalog last year, and it was on the website last year, and for some stupid reason I didn't buy it, but I wanted it, and I thought about it all last year, so I made sure I got one, well, 2 this time. So it's a form of cage feeder, not quite as tight as the inline with the ribs, with how much bait you can put in there. It's pretty much just a pretty big open cage, weight at the bottom, and this is more to go on the end of your leader, the end of your line. So if you're using helicopter rigs or chod rigs, this is a lead that can go on the end, but you can still mold pack bait to it. Now if you go back to our December video of the 12 months of carp, I was using a chod rig, and I was actually packing pack bait around my swivel lead, and I was able to get a fish that got me my December fish, and it made a big difference in my confidence with that chod rig of how adaptable it can be. And since I use helicopter rigs a lot, I figured this is something that I have to have and I have to try, especially for that kind of early to mid summer when I really use quite a bit of pack bait for some of the spots we go to. So actually really excited about this. There was an official name for this. It was cool. It was like the rocket.
You are holding the Monster Carp Rocket Basket Feeder.
The Rocket Basket Feeder.
70 grams.
It feels heavier than 70 grams. That's pretty cool.
Mine is the... Where am I? Mine's the Monster Ribbed Method Feeder at 80 grams. Haha, I'm bigger than you.
Yeah, but you know what? It's killer, and it flies.
It flies, yeah.
For an inline setup, it absolutely flies. Now, speaking of flies, no, these aren't flies in a bag. I got 3 of these, and I'm really excited about these too, because as I've been really working hard to improve my distance fishing, I'm starting to use proper distance leads, and Monster Carp Tackle has one, part of the Extreme Gear range. It is the Monster Carp Tackle Zip Bomb. What's the size of this one?
You got the 100 gram ones.
100 grams. So I got 3 of these. I'm not going to put all 3 of them on at once, but it's very different in shape to the traditional distance leads I've seen, it's kind of like a football. So I would imagine it kind of runs that pretty good spiral through the air. But yeah, as I'm moving forward with trying to fish further and further, now I have some really good leads to do that with.
They'll probably be me in my order for our next one.
Our next order? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not really good at the distance thing yet.
You're good at the distance thing yet. I think you need to work on your accuracy.
Yeah, accuracy.
Because I don't know, it blows my mind that with that 9-foot rod you're still hitting like 90 yards, no problem. Okay, what else? Okay, we got another batch of leads. Now some of these are mine, some of these are yours.
There should be, yes.
And they're all 90 grams, right?
Yes, because we go through them like crazy.
We go through these almost as much as we go through boilies, and that's frightening. I think it's mostly your fault.
I think we got this many in your last order, and we are totally out. We actually had to go to the local tackle shop and pick up some more.
And these are just the standard Monster Carp Tackle inline 90-gram leads. You know, you're in just standard flat pair inline. And yeah, for some reason, I don't know, maybe the tackle box is eating them, maybe my kid's taking them and putting them in his toy box, I don't know, but we seem to just always be running out. We have to divvy those up, I believe.
Correct.
Okay, but you gotta have them, they're important.
That's going to be great for the sound too, thanks.
Oh, no problem, no problem. All right. Now, if you've watched any of our videos, you will know that I am pretty much a nut for PVA mesh. I've used a number of different companies' mesh. There's a lot of them that I like, but there's always one that I seem to go to, and that's the ESP mesh. I don't know what it is about this one, but I find it easier to handle. It holds really, really well, and you know, some of the mesh that I've used from other companies, just a little bit of even the PVA friendly liquids, it starts melting before you even get your cast out there. I don't have to worry about the ESP one, so you know, I'm always getting these refills, and I go through it a lot. I use a lot of this. So like this is,
I think you used 2 of those last year, plus a brand new tube.
Yeah, so this is a 6 meter of the 32 millimeter refill. I'm not even going to open this until we get to Long Sault for the Carp Cup, because I will use this whole thing at that event. Yours will probably last you the summer.
Yeah, because I need to figure out how to use it properly and pack it properly.
Oh, because you won't have me there making the sticks for you. That's right. Hey, John, why don't you whip up 10 sticks, put them in the bucket? Sure, yeah, that's a good idea. I got nothing else to do right now. Oh, hey, Goldie, how did only two sticks end up left in here? All right, now this is yours.
Oh, this is mine. So, as part of the introduction to this, I am building out my stock, and one thing I'm going to try this year is a marker float.
That thing's huge.
It is very big. Go big or go home. I've never used a marker float, so it's going to be fun to try and use this. Should be interesting to watch me cast it out. But to get distance and get accuracy, I'm going to have to start using these sorts of things so that I can aim for something and hopefully get that accuracy up so that I'm hitting the same spot more often than...
Absolutely, and I think next week, you know, Kevin wants some practice with his casting as well.
Yeah.
Because you're both predominantly short-range anglers, so we'll have to get you guys out.
What are you talking about?
Practice.
I fish like 30 yards out. That's far enough.
Yeah, that's definitely far enough. Right. Okay, what do we got next here? Oh, somebody's not happy with his current baiting needles?
No, somebody said, oh, I really like this. It's going to be bad to have to give it back to the person that actually owns it.
Shh, I don't have Dave's baiting needle. I promise I don't have Dave's baiting needle in my tackle box over there right now.
So, I thought, well, if they're that great, I should probably pick some up because, you know, if they're good, you should use them.
Wow, that was so deep.
I know.
Yeah.
So I got the ultra fine baiting needle.
And drill, it looks like.
And drill. Ooh. So yeah, I do have a baiting needle and a drill already. You've seen it in my... I don't even remember what it was called.
I think you did an instructional video with Goldie's Fishing Adventures of like how to use those specific tools or what those tools were.
Yes, in my tool video.
Yeah.
But They are not the most expensive equipment that I have, so I thought I'd step it up a little bit and use something that will last me a little bit longer.
Something that's constructed a little bit better?
Maybe a little bit better.
Well, I will say though, that, again, I don't have Dave's, but he let me use it, but it's not over there in my tackle box right now. It's an incredibly comfortable baiting needle. Like it's really, it fits just right, you know. I don't know, for some reason I like that and I should have got my own, but I don't necessarily need it because I have other baiting needles, not including Dave's that's in my tackle box right over there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the other thing we're out of. Like almost completely out of. I think we have like, what, a dozen tops laying around.
Well, we have a lot of the one size. The other size were
yeah, this size we have a lot. That's
yes.
why there's only one pack of Universal Perfection size 6. And that's yours.
This is mine, yes. So that I stop using all his needles,
Needles, yeah, hooks.
Yeah, hooks. I was still thinking about the baiting needle there. So I stopped using all his hooks, and he complains that I lose them all the time. I like the size 6.
Size 6 is a great size.
Great size.
It's
for
pretty much a go-to size, really.
Yeah.
You know, we've scaled down to the 8s for certain occasions. They've done wonders for us, but the 6 is pretty much always the go-to, and I always make sure that I have a good supply of the 6s.
You have a very good supply of those.
Now, last year at the Carp Cup, you know, I had the whole range of hooks. I had some old size 2s, the old maximum power ones. I don't even know if you can get those anymore. The Universal Perfection size 4, 6, and 8, and I used them all in different rigs and different setups till I found really what it was that was hooking those fish and holding those fish. The St. Lawrence has massive carp. They have huge mouths. They're super strong, and I found that the size 4 was pretty much my go-to hook for that river. And you know, once we really figured out the tactic and what we needed to do with our new equipment that we were using to really make sure those hook holds stayed, it came down to a size 4 on the rig. And you didn't get any size 4s?
Yeah, I got
some of them.
Some, I don't.
But we got, what, we got 5 packs here because
I think I got 2 and you got 3.
Yeah, you got to have them, and you know, larger hooks are a must when you're going to be using larger baits for larger fish. So definitely have to have the size 4s. So we will divvy those up later. What else we got in here? All right, one of these is yours, and one of these is mine.
The most expensive of all the stuff we got.
Yeah, but you know what? It's worth it.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
So the Monster Carp Tackle unboxing video we did, I guess kind of the end of last summer as we did our resupply for the fall and early winter season. I tried out for the first time the ESP 2-tone coated braid hook link, the Strip Tease 2-tone, and I have to say I was really impressed. It was very easy to strip the coating off when I needed to. It maintained a pretty rigid form until, you know, you got 3 or 4 fish, and then it started to kind of get a little bit more supple, but it was still usable. And you know, when I was using it with the multi-rig, a lot of times I would get 4 or 5 fish, swap out the hook, get another 4 or 5, and you know, I pretty much used the same rig for an entire day, just maybe changing the hook once or twice. And yeah, this was really impressive for a hook link material. So you've grabbed your own as well.
Yes.
So yeah,
I just started. Actually, I used it for the first time.
Yeah, because you were using the old supple braid.
Supple braid stuff. Yeah.
Kind of what I used for my PVA bag mix rigs, but yeah, you started using this coated braid, and
it confused me to tie a knot with it until I figured out how to use it properly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get a little bit more practice with it before I.
Well, we're gonna do some rig tying soon because we definitely have to. But yeah, the Strip Tease 2-tone was definitely impressive. So, you know, I don't need to be going to other hook link materials. And now I've got one that works exactly how I want it. There's a story behind this one. Kind of your story, because it's your fault. Because I think you kind of stole our first sample of this.
I didn't steal it. picked it up, and I was told that it would be cool if I took it with me so that we could see what it would be like for fishing.
So it was almost like you were like almost asked in a way to be a guinea pig for these.
Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of.
Well, they're used in fishing. It's just not the type of fishing we do.
Okay, so these aren't necessarily from Monster Carp Tackle or ESP. Now, Monster Carp Tackle is run by a company called Anglers International, and they have another side to them, which is their trout fishing, which is Raven Tackle. Again, pretty much another household name if you're an angler in Canada. Raven makes some serious steelhead, trout, salmon fishing equipment, rods, reels, and terminal tackle. Here we have the Raven Super Soft Shot in AAA size. It's a 50-gram bag of camo brown split shot. Now, we got one look at these. We were at, what was that, the Bowmanville Tackle Swap just what, a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And you know, there was a Raven table there where they were showcasing a lot of the new products, and you know, our buddy Dave happened to be there and kind of put these in our face because,
well, it was more I sort of bumped into the table and I went,
ooh,
that's pretty much the color we need, because all of our stuff is pretty much silty browns or
greens,
but
a lot of the places we fish, especially in the spring, have sandy or a light clay kind of color, and these split shot will blend in perfectly, especially since we just got some new braid for our reels,
yeah,
which is also the exact same brown.
I think the two-tone's almost the exact same brown as well.
Yeah. So while you can get the Monster Carp Tackle and the ESP products from their website, currently the Raven Tackle website, as far as I recall, is not quite finished, but there are so many Raven Tackle dealers across you know, Ontario and I believe the West Coast, probably everywhere else. I don't know. If it's a tackle shop that deals with trout fishing equipment, there's a very good chance there's a Raven product in there. So you can always ask them about these particular shot. And yeah, don't forget, just because it's kind of marketed towards trout anglers or another species, doesn't mean that it can't be applied to the carp fishing arena. Now
that you showed them, can we use them now?
Yeah, we've kind of been hiding them, haven't we?
Yeah.
We don't want anybody to see them while we're using them. But yeah, that's one of the most exciting products I think I'm waiting to use.
Yeah.
Aside from,
well, yeah,
the kind of the basket feeder for the chuds and helicopter rigs. I think that's all the small stuff. That's all the small stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Doesn't seem like that much now, does it?
It's like Christmas. You're like, oh, look at all this stuff. Oh, there really isn't that much stuff.
And we need to do another order.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, we need another baiting spoon.
We need 5 baiting spoons. Yeah.
You can't complain. You broke one too.
I broke one last year. That's why I bought the new one. Now somebody else broke this most recent one.
Yeah, well, I called in a favor.
You called in a favor, yeah. Okay, so here we go. You may have seen this in some of our videos. You will definitely have seen this if you watch the Monster Carp YouTube channel, or Monster Carp Tackle YouTube channel. Dave uses this product to really good effect. It is the Pineapple Crush Monster Carp Tackle ground bait. I mentioned it before. This is something that you can open the bag, mix some water in, and actually make it into a really good pack bait right in the bag. Or if you're more traditional, dump it into a bucket with by itself, or with another ground bait to kind of bulk it out and make it a pack bait for the cage feeders, the basket feeders, your method feeders, or just a good old-fashioned pack bait ball around the lead. This stuff is killer. And I found in my experience, while there is a number of flavors that you can get on the website, the pineapple one is my personal favorite, mainly because a lot of my fishing revolves around the pineapple flavor in general. So I keep that theme going. One of these is yours, right?
Correct. I don't know why I got pineapple for. I don't use pineapple. I use bananas.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because we
mix them a lot, right?
Kept it simple.
And even though we're not fishing together for this this particular event, you're going to use a lot of the same tactics that you've kind of developed over the last while of fishing with me. So
yeah, a lot of particle stuff.
And you know what, Kevin's whole thing, like I said, he's the one that taught me about pack bait and kind of method feeders. This stuff is right up his alley. So you know that he's going to kind of bulk it out with his own ingredients to kind of make it something unique,
weird
in
Italian
your own
stuff.
But having this base really gives you that range to be able to do that, and you've got somebody on your team who's going to be really good at that. All right, so next is another ground bait. Now we went with smaller bags. Last year I had a 1 kilo bag of this, and it took me from August until... I
think we just finished it, didn't we?
Yeah, last week.
Last week.
This is
the Robin Red.
The Robin Red Monster Carp ground bait. Now this stuff is like a fine powder. It's really, really nice. And this, I like this stuff. I mix with this pack bait. I mix it with my other stick mixes or ground up boilies and other particle boilies, hemp seed, stuff like that, and mix it with this. And I make really good stick mixes for my mesh sticks. It also goes well in solid bags.
And we know it works really well because last year, Jeff dumped half a bag into the water.
Oh yeah.
And it was amazing to watch this stuff. It just sort of sat there and slowly dissipated, but just left this big red cloud.
It was like a slow motion shark attack happened in the lake right in front of us. It was just this red cloud that went out, and then fish started rising all around the outskirts of it. It was actually really impressive. Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. But definitely a must. You know, we took our time going through that kilo last year. We're not taking any chances. We've got to make sure we both have some for the tournament.
Yep. Especially if I'm going to use sticks.
If you're going to use sticks.
I might use one or two.
You know, Kevin, he's going to have you using the
I know.
Cage feeder.
Cage feeder.
Now,
the rest is yours.
The rest is boilies. You didn't get any boilies at all, eh?
Nope. It's because I'm going all particle.
You just told them your whole game plan.
And you just told them your game plan, so there you go.
I didn't tell them anything. Everybody knows I like having boilies with me. Might not use them at all. I might carry 50 kilos of boilies with me and you won't even know what I'm using as a hook bait. It'll be like one pop-up corn, and that's it for the whole week.
I'd love to see you do that.
Just have a table all lined up of all the different boilies and not one package is open.
Hundreds and hundreds of pounds of pop-ups and you have just one little
pop-up grain of corn, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to say I went overboard because I really don't think I did. If anything, I would have ordered a whole other box of more of these because, in my opinion, you just can't go.
Well, yeah, you use them for everything.
Yeah, I use them for everything. I use them for grinding up to make stick mixes, grinding up for pack bait. You know, using a throwing stick. The slingshot, you know, whatever I can. Hook baits, you know, critically balanced baits. I go nuts.
Oh, you did get all 3 flavors. Look at that. You're pretty good at that.
Well, there's more than 3 flavors, but these are my 3 preferred flavors.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you got 4 different flavors. Why did I think you only got 3 flavors?
I got 4 flavors.
Oh, and then you got the...
Oh, yeah, I got 2 kilos of this one. Okay. So, yeah, 5 kilos of boilies, because I love using boilies. And if you do watch the Fish'n Canada Carp Cup video from last year, you will see that Demir and I used a lot of boilies. You know, maybe it's coincidence that we did get the biggest fish of the tournament, and actually a biggest overall weight for our average fish. We had a lot of big fish. Could be something to do with the boilies. Could be something to do with the 50 pounds of corn we put out over the couple of days there. You never know. But we covered all our bases. That's just the way we fish. We're very adaptable and try to make sure that we use everything at our disposal until we find what works and then narrow it in on that. So over here I've got the banana cream, the Tutti Frutti, the Killer Vanilla. This was my favorite last year. I got so many fish on vanilla last year. I don't want to say it was crazy. It was stupid how many fish I got on vanilla last year. And that started from May right through until, what, November?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just non-stop.
Yeah. They also make a good substitute for the cornwich as well. I cut a vanilla and a banana in half, put them together, and caught a fish on that too.
Yeah, so you made the vanilla, flavor out of the boilies, just as you did with their little jars of corn.
Yeah.
And yeah, same effect. So you know that the flavoring is just as good in both. And then yeah, 2 kilos of pineapple, because pineapple is pineapple. You have to have it. You're just not carp fishing if you don't have something that's got that pineapple flavor. And since that's, you know, this is my hook bait, I'll throw a bunch of these out around it, or put them on like a PVA string around it. Yeah, it's just having this in that lighter color, it stands out. You got something that they're gonna eat that you know is a confidence booster. This is gonna put fish around you. You're swimming around your rig. And you got this lighter color one to really make them jump on it. It looks a little bit washed out, has a slightly different flavor.
Is that it?
The box is empty.
Yeah, we definitely need another order.
Yeah, we do. I want more stuff. All right. Let's get these out of the way here.
So you got a lot more like end tackle stuff that you already used. Where I've got a lot of end tackle stuff that I've never used before.
Well, some of it you've used, but you know, now you've got your own to play with. So now you don't have to listen to me saying, "Oh no, you're only getting so much of that hook link material because I'm almost out." Right?
I only took like 3 feet of the last one. What are you talking about? And I caught a fish on it
when I had 5 feet left. Yeah, nice. But yeah, you know, it's not a huge order, but it's a big order for gear, and really this is entirely for our use at the Fish'n Canada Carp Cup coming up in what, less than 4 weeks now? Pretty much, or
yeah, pretty much.
Just about 4 weeks. So you know, we've got a lot of other preparation to do. You know, both Demir and I have been doing a lot of strategizing. You and Kevin have been strategizing quite a bit, planning out, you know, everything right down to the last detail. You know, our meal plans, exactly what food we're going to get, and you know how well we're going to keep ourselves nourished during the tournament, so that we don't have any downtime.
Actually, hopefully we won't be eating at all because we'll just be catching fish the whole time.
You have to eat. It's got to happen.
What happens
if one person has to, you know, handle the double header?
Double header, it's like every 10 minutes.
You know what?
Look at all this monster stuff we have here. Monster Carp Tackle will get us all the fish.
Oh, great plug. Yeah, nice job. But yeah, so, you know, as we continue to prepare over the last few weeks before the event, I think the plan is we're going to do a little bit of preparing videos. Maybe some of our rig stuff. We're not sure yet, but you know, we want to kind of lead you into the tournament, get you all excited, get you hyped up. For more information, just go to the Fish'n Canada website. You should be able to find some information there. Also follow the Facebook page. You'll see details there as they set things up. And don't forget to listen to the Outdoor Journal radio show on the Fan 590 on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. When they talk all kinds of things outdoors, but any new details about the tournament they've been throwing in there.
Are you working for them now?
No, but that's where the information is. You know, it's not all here. It's you know, this tournament is being covered by them. So if you want information or you want to see what's going on, pretty much those are the resources for it.
And the really cool thing is when the tournament is actually going on, every tournament in Europe will be going on at the same time to get their teams for the World Carp Classic, and we'll be live streaming apparently.
I don't have all the details yet.
Something
because
like that.
you know, we're trying to get everything ready. I haven't been paying too much attention to the social media, but I'm sure as they post more details, getting closer to the tournament, you'll get to see. But the rumor is right now that because all of the different countries that are competing in the World Carp Classic are having their qualifiers pretty much at the same time. So, you know, we're competing at the same time as, you know, everybody else in Europe. Apparently there's going to be a live feed going through back and forth. Again, there might be more details on the World Carp Classic site online or the Fish'n Canada site. But yeah, check it all out. Get some information so that you can see when it's going to happen and how it's all going to be handled. And we are going to continue to do our best to get ready. And hopefully we'll bring you along for the ride until we get there. And then once we're there, cheer on both team anglerphiles that are going to be there. I'm still going to crush you.
Yeah.
You guys can have second. Demir and I are taking first.
That's fine.
You good with that?
I was just happy to be in the top 5. I'll be just happy to catch a fish.
That's what Kevin said.
Yeah.